Padraig, what are you up to at ZEDEDA?
Well, Kevin, ZEDEDA is a startup here based here in the Bay Area. We are focused on the edge. So basically we're a company that's developing infrastructure to enable deployment at scale securely applications at the edge. So we work with customers in all types of industries, from industrial, renewables, automotive, retail, maritime, etc. Anywhere where you have compute outside of the data center.
Yep.
And that could be, the edge can be everything from a sensor very remote all the way back to a mini data center in a retail store. We're providing the infrastructure enabling people to deploy their apps at scale securely.
Now, edge, AI, big topic here at GTC.
For sure.
I've been around for a while. Edge is hard.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's quite different. I mean, it's one of the things that when you're in this space, you discover over a period of time that it's not the data center. It's quite different. The environments are quite different. So data center tends to be very homogeneous, one or two different types of servers. At the edge, every customer has a different machine, right? The different type of server that they want to run their app on. The use cases are different. They're everything from manufacturing, where you're basically looking at quality computer vision, all the way to trying to do predictive analysis on data that's coming from, it could be a wind turbine, etc. So everything is different. The environment is different. The bandwidth availability is different. The security requirements are different. The performance that they expect from the machines are different. Some want to run on very low-end ARM Raspberry Pi boxes. Others are high-end servers.
Yeah.
Yes, so it really covers a gamut, a wide gamut.
Now, you had some announcements here this week with NVIDIA. What have you been doing there?
Yeah, well, our philosophy from day one as a company is that we want to bring the data center cloud experience to the edge. So if you think about why the AWSs and the Azures of the world have been so successful over the last few years, they have made it so easy for people to spin up applications. Either get access to servers, get access to a database, get access to now AI, ML tools, etc. We believe the success and be able to promote use cases at the edge requires a similar type of experience. So we make it easy for people to deploy the apps. We make it easy for people to update the apps. We make it easy for people to actually do that at scale. And we also make it easy for folks to be able to tie in their AI ML type of solutions on top of those business apps. So that's basically what we focus on.
And there's lots of orchestration, for want of a better word,
Correct.
in terms of how you manage it all.
Correct.
Now, in terms of NVIDIA technology and bringing AI to the edge, you've had some announcements?
Yeah, you're correct. So just last week we announced basically a lot of work we've done around basically leveraging the strength and the power of the NVIDIA system. So, for the edge, they have these systems all the way from basically Nano up to Orin, pretty beefy servers for applications at the edge. And what we have done is we've leveraged both the power of the hardware plus the tools. And I think the key thing that NVIDIA have done a really nice job is they've created a set of tools with their NVIDIA TAO, which is their transfer, adapt, and optimize, also the Triton Inference server. These tools really make it a lot easier for our customers to be able to take models, optimize them for the use case, and then deploy them at the edge. And you have to optimize it for the hardware you're running on. And NVIDIA is providing those tools. What we do then is we take the output of the NVIDIA models and we basically containerize it. We basically connect it to the business app that resides with it, and we allow our users to actually deploy that at scale, hands-free, no need to go visit the locations. It can all be done from a touch of a button back from a data center.
Now, just to make it real, any examples of industries or customers that are using your tech?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's quite a few. So we'll start with like oil and gas.
Okay.
We have a lot of customers in oil and gas, and they're doing a lot of analysis at the platform, at the actual drill site itself. Historically that data had to come back to a data center, load it, do the analysis. It could take a week.
At least.
Now it's all real time, and then they'd have to have bandwidth. That was the other challenge. So by actually having AI at the edge, they're able to ingest the data, process it, analyze it, get the results, and take whatever actions have to happen.
In almost real time.
In real time, exactly. When we look at our manufacturing clients, they're basically computer vision type of solutions where they're looking at widgets coming on the line. They can do all the analysis AI there in real time and then decide whether the quality or the yield is sufficient. Again, real time, right? And the other interesting thing we see with manufacturing is a lot of those industries, a lot of those customers are extremely security conscious. They actually are not willing to open up the solution to the internet, so they need to compute locally. and they need the compute such as you get from an NVIDIA platform to do that analysis and basically make a decision and then decide what happens next on the line. So having that power to be able to run your AI models on site is key for something like that.
Yeah, and I think I've been around for a while. People say, well, edge compute is not new. Well, it's not new, but edge compute for AI models is new.
Is new, correct.
So that's where the difference.
Yeah.
Now, you've been here at GTC for the last 4 days. Anything stood out for you?
Yeah, I think the thing that actually surprised me most was, if you look at the explosion in the interest with NVIDIA and with ChatGPT and all that side in the data center, I thought there was another year or two that the focus would be totally on the data centers. But like what's happened here is, pleasantly surprised to see the emphasis at the edge, right? And you see a lot of applications here, a lot of vendors are basically showcasing solutions for the edge, particularly on robotics manufacturing. Yeah. And I think I'm pleasantly surprised to see it happen so soon. But it makes sense, right? Because if you think about, Gartner released numbers recently where they said about 70% of all data will be generated at the edge. So if you're going to process that data, and if data is required for AI, you should have the ability to do all that locally at the edge, because then you don't have to bring it back to a data center, you don't have to deal with the security of opening up to the internet, you don't have to deal with the cost of bringing it back to a data center. So it's great to see people opening up to that and realizing that where the data gets created is where it should get analyzed.
Yeah, no, there's a bit of a paradigm shift going on.
Big time.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hey, and it turns out that we were, a few years ago,
that's right.
We were a year apart in the same university, University of Limerick.
Indeed, I think we probably shared the same canteen for a few years, and we know the same lectures,
And
so
we
full
probably,
circle.
We probably shared the same space in the stables.
That's true. That is very true.
That's the bar.
And we'll leave it at that.
That's the bar.
No more tales out of that.
Good to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Thanks, Kevin, very much.